Good morning, all. In the last class, we started learning Hopfield neural network, a kind of associative memories. We have seen the architecture of these networks, which looks like this. There were n number of neurons. The suppose neuron number one is activated, then its output will be fed back like this. Its output will be going back to the other neuron, or in other words, you may say that the output of neuron number one is going to act as input to neuron number one in the next phase. In the same ways, the other neurons are also connected in same fashion. Neuron number two, then neuron number three, then neuron number n. Means this is the recurrent kind of neural network where the output of all neurons are fed back to the input. These are the output generated, and these are inputs. And we know that input and output are initially same, being the auto-associative kind of neural network. Now let us go through the algorithm to be followed for this Hopfield neural network learning. The first step is that we need to initialize the weights to store patterns. The weights are to be initialized using Hebb's learning rule, which further depends upon the nature, whether the input and output is bipolar in nature or they are binary in nature. So there is exact formulation or individual formulation for each of these, which we studied in the earlier lecture. After initializing the weight matrix, now our neural network, our Hopfield network, has stored the given input patterns. Uh, After initializing the weights, next step is to activate the input. Let we are going to test for a particular sample or the mapping for this sample that was stored in the earlier samples. So we initialized the output as same as that of your input for a particular sample. Then we need to repeat certain steps. For each neuron, we need to calculate the input we being received at it. So the input is calculated by adding the input at that particular neuron along with a product of output and weights through which the edges or through which other neurons are connected to it. After finding the input, sum of input, we need to apply the activation function, which is a step function in nature of this kind. So we will calculate the output at neuron number I after applying this activation function. Now this output generated at the ith neuron will be fed back as the input to for the next step, and this process repeats till the already stored pattern is not mapped to the input pattern being supplied to the Hopfield neural network. So this is the overall algorithm we are going to follow for Hopfield neural networks. Let us go through a numerical example. The example of the problem says that uh, we have to design a Hopfield neural network that stores two patterns, S1 and S2, each containing six number of features. So just by looking at these two patterns, we can think about the architecture of the Hopfield neural network. It will contain six number of neurons, and after storing these patterns in Hopfield neural network, we need to test it for three patterns. So these three patterns will be pattern number one, pattern number two, and pattern number three, all containing six features again. So our first step is to initialize the weights. Our weight matrix is of dimension 6 into 6, as there are 6 number of features, uh, and as our input patterns, or you can say the patterns being stored by Hopfield, are binary in nature. So we'll be using the binary formulation of this weight matrix. So these were for two formulations, one for binary weights and the other one for the bipolar weights. And weights being binary, so this formulation will be used for calculating or for initializing the weights of Hopfield neural network. So what it says is that we have to calculate twice the feature vector -1, and again twice the feature vector for jth neuron -1, then again multiply them both. Repeat this for finding uh, there's sum for p number of patterns, and accordingly find the value of if weight ig. So this is the formula to be used for calculating this. Let's try to trace how to calculate the particular weights. So for this problem, as we know that the architecture of the Hopfield neural network will look like this, means there will be 6 neuron number 1, this neuron number 2, neuron number 3, and 2 neuron number 6. So it will be going to be equal to 6 neuron number. Then the connections will be like these, and we have already gone through the nomenclature of all these weights. Now our task is to calculate these weights. Means this weight vector we need to calculate for neuron number 1, this weight vector for neuron number 2, 3, and this fourth one, as we discussed and concluded in the last lecture also. So we need to calculate W1 vector, W2 vector, W3, W4 up to W6 vector we need to calculate. And we have to calculate them by using Heb's rule for binary input and output. So let us calculate them. The first neuron uh, containing weight number W11 will be equal to 0. Why? Because of the condition that self connection will be 0 for Hopfield neural network. As we studied the equation that Wij is equal to 0 whenever I is equal to j. So it falls under that case. That's why W of 11 becomes 0. Now come to W of 12. We want to calculate the weight that is connecting neuron number 1 and the input of neuron 2. So this is the weight we are going to calculate, W of 1, 2. How it is calculated? Just by looking at this equation, this one. So I in this case is 1, J is equal to 2. So W of 1, 2 will be equal to S of I multiplied by 2. It means I is 1. So this pattern number 1. This is 1. That's why 2 multiplied by 1, it becomes then -1. So it is -1. Then this is for jth input. In this case, j is 2. So we need to pick the second value, value of second feature. It is again equal to 1. So 2 into value of feature 1 and again -1. It becomes equal to 1. So the value of 1, 2 comes out to be equal to 1. And look at neuron or weight 6, 5. In this case, I is equal to 6 and j is equal to 5. So go to the pattern to be stored. That is, we are working for pattern number 1. This one, the value of 6 feature here is equal to 0. So that is why S of I is 0. And value of fifth feature again is equal to 0. This one. So again, this becomes 0 and the rest equation remains the same and it comes out to be 1. In the same way, we need to calculate all the 36 weights. And W of 6, 6, W of 5, 5, W of 4, 4, W of 2, 2 all will become 0. We know that self connections are having weight equal to 0. So these are the weights calculated for storing this pattern number 1. Now come to pattern number 2, this one. Again apply the same equation. W11 will become 0, W12 will become, it means I is equal to 1, J is equal to 2. So the first feature is 0, that's why 0 is here. Second feature is 1, this one, that's why 1 is here. Solve this and it will result in -1. In the same way, calculate all the 36 weights, means 6:6 matrix. Just by pursuing these calculations, we reach to that for sample number 1, the 36 values are represented using our initial weight matrix storing pattern number 1. These are the 36 values storing pattern number 2. At the end, we need to sum them. So this plus this results in this final weight matrix. Suppose in case if there were 10 patterns to be stored, then 10 matrices of this kind are to be calculated and then all need to be summed up and resulting in this final weight matrix. Now we are ready with the initialized weights. Now after initializing the weight matrix, let us recall the problem statement. The problem statement was that we need to store two patterns, S1 and S2. We need to store these two patterns using Hopfield neural network and then have to test the trained neural network for responding or for extraction of three patterns stored corresponding to three input patterns. Suppose if these three patterns are those which are stored in the neural network, which are stored by the Hopfield neural network, then there is no problem. Correspondingly, stored same pattern will be resulted. And suppose there are stored three patterns which are different from those which are being represented to the neural network, then conceptually the Hopfield should extract the patterns which are matching the best to the input patterns. So before extracting or before testing, we need to assign an asynchronous order of updation to units. It may be anything, just pick up random numbers and put them in order. Let it be 4, 3, 6, 5, 1 and 2 for our problem in hand. We will be activating our neurons in this order. Let us try to test it. There were three patterns. Pick up the first pattern. That was containing 6 features, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1 and 0. Just activate the input layer using this pattern. And the next step as per the algorithm was to calculate the net input. We know the input pattern, we know the weight matrix. These were the input samples and this is the first one out of this one, and the weight matrix that we just calculated was looking like this. We know the input, we know the weight. Next step is to calculate the net input at this neuron. So in the order fourth one has to be picked. Let it be neuron number 4th. We have to calculate the net input coming at this neuron. So let us try to calculate the net input at this neuron as according to algorithm will be input number 4 and input number of 4 for this pattern is equal to 0. So 0 plus weight multiplied by that feature, first feature, weight for picking the weight matrix for 4th neuron. This is our weight vector for this. Weight vector for this 4th neuron will be this. So the first weight that is equal to 0 corresponding to first feature's value is equal to 0. So we need to multiply them. So 1 into 0 becomes this term. Now pick up the second feature, which is equal to 1. Pick up the second weight from the weight vector, it is equal to 2. Multiply them both. Again, the third feature value is 1. Pick up the third weight from this vector, which is equal to 2. So it will become 1 into 2 and so on. Just keep on adding the terms and calculate the final sum, which is equal to 4. Now we have calculated the input sum at fourth neuron. Now we have to apply the activation function discussed earlier. As it is a positive term, so the activation function will result in 1. So output for neuron number fourth will be equal to 1. This will result in 1. And we know now this output has to be fed back. Now this output has to be fed back. So the new pattern after activation of first neuron will look like this. The input was this initially. After fourth neuron was activated as according to this asynchronous order, the activation of this fourth neuron has changed the fourth input to 1 from 0. So now this is going to become our input for the next neuron, next phase, you may see. So this as input, and we need to activate neuron number 3. It means we have to find sum at neuron number 3. So now this neuron has to be activated. For activating this neuron, we need to find multiplication of weights and their inputs. Now the input is changed, which has now become equal to this vector. And we know that the weight vector for third neuron is this 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 0. So pick up one by one. Let us start for calculating sum at neuron number 3. First of all, input at neuron number 3 is equal to 1. We know it. So 1. Then feature number 1 multiplied by weight number 1. Feature number 1 is equal to 1. Yes, it is this one. And weight number 1 is equal to 0. So 1 multiplied by 0. Then feature number 2, weight number 2. Feature number 2 is 1. Weight number 2 is equal to 2. So this is it. Then the third, then the fourth up to 6. And finally, it comes out to be 5. So the output generated by the third neuron of a field is equal to 5. Now apply activation function. Being the positive term, it will generate output as equal to 1. So again, we changed the input as these are to be fed back. So the input vector, it may or may not change. It may repeat the same process for all neurons in the asynchronous order. Means next we have to activate 5, fifth, then 1, then 2. After activating all the neurons, just make a check upon what we observed now. We observed the output to be equal to 1, 1, 1, 1, 0 and 0. Try to match it with the already stored patterns. As we stored these two vectors, S1 and S2 were stored patterns, and the output generated after the first epoch matches to this one. It means our Hopfield network converges. Or for the pattern number 1, which was given as input, this pattern number 1, this S1 sample is to be produced as output. Or you can say that pattern number 1 was more closer to the given input pattern, and hence it should be resulted as output. Along with output, we can also make a check whether the weights has stopped, or you can say the input vector has stopped changing, or is there any convergence between the output generated after each activation of individual neuron. Let us suppose it converges for this epoch. We need to check for one more epoch whether the results are uh, same or they are changing. If they are changing, then we need some more epoch, some more iterations. If they stop changing, it means this is going to be the final pattern to be resulted as output. So this was the output for first pattern. Now pick up the second pattern, which is 0 1 0 and triple one. Again, pursue the same things. This was the order of activations. Find the output at third neuron, then first, then sixth, then fourth, then fifth, and after this epoch, observe this output. This is similar as that of stored one. This one. So there is a match. It means the input pattern is matched to the stored pattern. Input pattern is matched to a stored pattern, which is the desired one. Now repeat the same thing for the third pattern and so on. So just by looking at this example, we can conclude that Hopfield neural networks, being recurrent in nature and which follows the Hebb's rule of learning, are able to store patterns and then were able to recall also. If pattern input pattern was same as that of the stored one, then it will be resulted as output. If they are different, then the most similar pattern stored in the memory will be resulted as your output. It concludes your Hopfield neural network.